finding out that what it is, even in a talk radio station, it's all about listening to the music. That's you just got to play the music and get into it. I've got a whole bunch of people in the studio, and you can hear the change in the dynamics here as I open up all the microphones because everybody's here. We've got Sue and Carol and Kate and Tim and Eddie and Ryan and John and Stella and Maggie. Let's all say hi.
Hi.
That's great. I love having a studio audience. It's we got to do this more often. And they're from the Joliet Montessori School. I wanted to get into why this kind of a business. You could have done a lot of different businesses, and they would have taught the students the same things in terms of business and accountability and so forth. Why sustainable? Why organic?
Well, it goes back to the beginning, which is Maria Montessori believed in education that was authentic and meaningful, and something that people could get emotionally engaged as an essential element. And so she encourages us to help, particularly our adolescent community, become attached to the land and to really experience what it means to be self-responsible, but in community and responsive to the needs of community. And food is such a politically important conversation among our greater community and among our own families that it just seemed like a logical business to support those educational goals and at the same time giving them the authentic, meaningful experience of being an entrepreneur.
And you don't, okay, how much of this do you grow? Do you grow any of it?
No. But we have promised Brandon, their guide,
yes,
that we will have a greenhouse by the end of the school year to start doing seeds. And the whole school will be involved with that. So our little preschoolers will be planting the seeds and getting them to sprout. And then half they'll take home to their own families, and half will go up to the elementary children, and they will be in charge of kind of hardening them off and getting them sort of thriving so that they can be planted in a garden. And so when they're ready for sort of sales, then they will pass up to the adolescent program, who will sell the plants and also plant some in a garden. We are limited by space, so we are trying to have that connection to food production and the environment as best we can in an urban setting.
So, in a sense, right now, it's more about business and less about
not
food.
necessarily.
But, okay.
We have gone to Rainbow Harvest, and you guys can attest to. Shanahan has a wonderful greenhouse.
Yeah, just pop right in. Tell us about going there.
Rainbow Harvest. Who wants to talk about Rainbow Harvest?
Go ahead, Kate. You were the one who wrote the article on it.
It's a Montessori dad actually owns it, and it's a really cool hydroponic greenhouse where he grows all kinds of lettuces. Mostly. And it's just, it's so cool to go in. It's like this huge system, and I mean, all the work that goes into it is really cool.
So they would go and seed some days, and we'd spend about an hour or so at Kevin McDonald's greenhouse out in Shanahan. And they would replant, and then we would harvest towards the end, and then we sell that lettuce. That's the lettuce that we carry.
So the goal, though, you're saying, and how many grades are in this school?
We have pre-K through 8th grade, and an occasional 9th grader who chooses to stay with us before going on to high school.
I don't blame you. You're probably learning a lot more about business than I ever did. I didn't know that nothing about nothing when it came to business. So how many? So the goal is maybe somewhere down the road, because you're teaching the younger children how to get things started, and maybe you'll have your own production beds.
That's what we're trying to do. That is one of the goals of the school. We are limited by space, and to put in a greenhouse the size that Brandon would like is going to take a little bit of land, and we don't own the land behind the school.
And that is that the goal, to acquire that land, or are you going to do?
It's
what
owned
do you
by
wanna do?
Commonwealth Edison, so it's.
Oh, well, you're not going to get that. Okay. I want one of the marketing people back there to tell me about how many customers you have and what kind of customers they are. And anybody, somebody who hasn't jumped in so far. Come on.
Who's marketing?
Who packs the sales? Who comes in when we yell customer service and the doorbell rings?
I don't really do that.
How many are parents at the school?
A lot.
We do get a lot of folks from the outside,
Yep.
and because we carry a lot of the beef and the chicken as well.
Well, that's the other thing. You have meat products as well.
Correct. We work with some of local farmers, the Amish, and we took a trip to the Amish actually. And we
Yeah,
spent
you've got
a
it
day,
on your website.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we spent a day with the Amish. That was really cool.
Uh-huh.
Yes.
And well, how many clients do you have altogether?
There's probably about I want to say 100 off and on. Not everybody's an orderer all the time.
And are they all connected to the school, or some of them connected to the community?
A lot are connected to the community.
Mm-hmm.
Our bank is one of them that comes in now. We have quite a few clients that come in from Chase Bank,
Mm-hmm.
and just other people in the community who have heard about us, know about us, or are related. Somehow, some way, have a friend of somebody else, word of mouth, and that's how they've come. It's hard to find organics in Joliet, Illinois.
Indeed.
Yes.
Well, this is a good start then, isn't it? And especially to get the local students involved and your neighbors and so forth. I was wondering, in terms of the sales and the business end of things, how successful a business is this?
It's successful. We don't make a ton of money. We're always funding our next project.
Mm-hmm.
But if I could just say, the quality of the products that have been brought in is just phenomenal. We're getting things before they would be in a store for people to buy. So the quality of the produce that's available to our families is just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's also teaches us a great work ethic, and it's kind of future goals, and it teaches us about things that we could use in the future. And
You mean when you graduate and you get on to your real lives? This is your real life, actually, right now. This is part of living, and the fact that do you feel like you're learning about new foods and by being part of this?
we actually had,
No, it's okay. Keep talking.
we actually had something called Buddha's hand.
Uh-huh.
It was like a weird citrus fruit. Sadly, it wasn't all that popular, so we don't carry it anymore.
What
but
was that? Give that.
It was called a Buddha's hand.
Hey, what is that?
It's a citrus fruit, actually, that's a limited season, kind of like blood oranges have a limited season.
So this was an experiment. Say, hey, you guys should try this.
Right, we order a lot through Goodness Greenness, and so we get their list mainly of what they'll offer every week, and so we kind of pick one random thing that nobody ever knew about, and we put it out there to see if...
But now, this is how you learn about the marketplace.
Correct.
Yeah.
You try something out, and nobody wants it.
We didn't order it.
It's like being, a radio show. You do a radio show. Is anybody listening? I don't know. Maybe they are. It's just you throw stuff out there and hope that people want to be part of it. And you were going to say?
Oh, I was just gonna say that we get tons of different types of citruses and stuff, and it's like I didn't even know what that was like, any a fruit.
Well, and I would imagine other kinds of greens and stuff. I've been part of CSAs, and one of the things you learn when you're with a CSA, which is Community Supported Agriculture, you get these packages each week of stuff that you might not have ever eaten before, and you have to learn how to prepare it because that's what you got. You don't want to just toss it. Anybody else want to? We're wrapping up here. Anybody got any final words? Yeah, go ahead.
We did want to present
it's
you
all right.
with our salsa that was made. That's one of our next projects that we're doing. We are going to try and take that salsa to market, to put it on a grocery shelf.
I have the salsa right here in my hot little hands. And okay, is this a mild or medium or spicy salsa?
We kind of make kind of all three of those types of salsas.
What kind did we give him?
That's a mile.
Because I love salsa.
It's mild.
That will be fine. And if I want to spice it up, I'll add a little something to it. But it looks wonderful. Thank you so much. So, and you're going to start
We're
making
going to
this?
start working with the health department in order to get certified food handlers. They're going to come in and give us a class to the kids. And then we have to get it shelf tested. We have to find a state kitchen to do it in. And figure out our packaging and the requirements from the health department to make all that happen.
Yeah, and that's one more step.
And then they're going to have to figure out how much to charge for it once we've figured out all the prices that go along.
And hopefully we are graduating young people who are ready to take their place in an economy that's changing with the tools where they won't have to just look for a job, but they know how to create their own businesses.
You know, that's funny you should say that. I was watching television this past week, and there was a story on the news about people in midlife and in their 40s and 50s who have lost their jobs in the last few years and were trying to get new jobs, and here they are waiting for people to hire them. And I'm looking at the tube and I'm saying, make your own job. But the point is, those people don't know how to do that. They know how to make a resume and wait for somebody to hire them. And, you know, it's not an easy thing to be your own business person. So when you're learning this now, you are so far ahead of the game. And it's a whole mindset. We start thinking differently about, well, that job fell through. What am I going to create next? Instead of, oh, who will hire me next? It's very different. And if you can get a jump on that, you're going to be in much better shape than a lot of folks, especially, you know, the economy will probably go back up at some place, but it'll come down again, too. And you have to have that in mind. Well, I want to thank everybody, Sue, Carol, Kate, Tim, Eddie, Ryan, John, Stella, Maggie, and Dad, the driver on the side, who's got the camera. Have you been videotaping this whole thing?
Absolutely.
Oh, all right.
It puts 20 pounds on. We understand.
And thank you all for
Thank you for letting
We'd
us
like to
come.
thank you.
schlepping
Thank you
all the
very
way
much.
up here, and for the kolachkis, and for the good work you're doing, and
And the salsa.
salsa, which is right here. And if folks want to get involved, I've got the information on my website. Go to MikeNovak.net, go to This Week's Show, click on Olive Living L3C. Anybody can join, right?
Anybody can join.
And it really is wonderful. Organic produce and meats and eggs and milk.
Fabulous. All right. Thanks again. Everybody be careful
Thank you
getting
much.
home, and please leave in single file.
Yes.
All right?
Thank you.
Here's
Thank
a
you.
tip
Bye.
from the care of trees. As devastating as the emerald